Hello. Can you guys hear that annoying sound in the background, or it's just me? It sounds like an engine running. Just me? Okay, thank you. Hey, Fluffy. Oh, don't mind that sound. That sound is my tablet. That when it restarts, it has this vibration sound. I don't know why. But yeah, I got a new lamp and it's not Bluetooth, it's not like a speaker, it's just, but it's cute, but it makes this weird sound. Like I hear it, it's not that loud, but I hear it. It's like a constant, it seems like an engine. I don't know if you can see it. Wait, I want to, do you see the lamp over there? Let's see if it moves. Oh, it changes colors. It changes colors. I don't want it to change colors. No. Yeah, but it makes a weird sound that yesterday when I tried it for the first time, it didn't happen. But now that I turned it on as well today, it it came up like this. Isabella. Yeah, the images is nice. It's like it has like a shape. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know if you can see like it moves. It's like the waves. It's like the waves of as if it was under the sea or something like that. And it's not that like to be a lamp is not that potent in the sense that it just illuminates over here. I have, for example, the sunset lamp. It grows, it amplifies as you go like the farthest away you go. Mm, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. Yeah, because actually, you remember that I had two salt lamps, but because we were cleaning and we were like moving things around, my dad like knocked one of my lamps, my salt lamps. He knocked one out. Like he broke it. Like he just passed very fast and it just fell and it crushed all the ceramics in pieces. So I was like, okay. It was on my list anyways. I wanted to buy different lights because as you know, the galaxy lamp that I had is very cute. That one is very expensive. That one like influences like all the wall almost. but it has this annoying speaker. I don't know, like it just says like um Bluetooth mode. Like I don't know what is it. It goes crazy. There's moments where it just doesn't say anything, and there's moments where it randomly says it. I tried to connect it to one of my phones, so I was like, okay, if it's connected, it will not say anything. It will be chill. But no, it had to go. But this time to say that, the Bluetooth, I don't know, it's just very scary. I don't know, it feels, I don't trust it. I don't want any talking voice. Like also my gray hair is starting to appear, and I'm trying to cover it. This is why you see this, like my hair down to the side. But yeah, yeah. I'm going to get this out. It's been a while since I used it. I'm going to get it out. It has this huge book that I never read. I never read it. The other day, I told you guys that I was in this course of, to learn like the meanings and, classes about the tarot of Marseille. Um, I had the possibility to continue the classes. Like we review all the major arcanas, and then the professor was like, "Oh, are you interested in the second part?" And I was like, "No, I'm okay, thank you." But my friend was very into it. She was like, it seemed like for her it was like she discovered a new world. I don't know. But for me, it was like more of the same. Like we had certain classes where I had to get, printed like in black and white, certain like, images of the major arcana card. So it's simple in the sense that the colors that are in the cards usually are like the primary, like red, yellow, blue. Um, Maybe for the skin of the people, you can use green color, or another, I don't know, even like you can leave it white, or you can just, maybe add a bit of yellow if you want. But it's a very simple drawing. And I don't know, the teacher was also very slow for me. I was not enjoying it. I got bored actually being in the class. I got so I didn't want to continue. Like I don't want to see the minor arcanas with him. Um and I think that because we were like in these Zoom meetings, and I could see that my friend was the one that was engaging the most. She was like dissecting any, she is a Gemini with the moon in Scorpio, so she is very deep, she's very intelligent. But she was like, she's a weird Gemini. I don't know if it's her moon in Scorpio that slows her down a bit, but she's a slow Gemini. Like her processes are very slow, very smooth. Um, but she's so kind. She's so nice. But she's a counselor like me, but she hasn't been a tarot reader for long. I think that she started in pandemic. So for me, it's like She's great. I had asked her, I remember I had asked her for a reading once, because I wanted to see her style of reading. And she's really good at, the specific, very specific kind of spreads, tarot spreads. And she like pulls one card for an aspect. But I think that there's something that she probably doesn't master yet, is to be able to read the whole spread. But I think that for her to do these classes, that it focuses like one arcana at a time, for her is like going deep. And for me, it's like I know the meanings of the major arcanas. I know them. It's like, yeah, Marseille and the other ones is the same. Maybe for the minor it can change, but for the Marseille is pretty much the same. Meanings. And they focus a lot on individual cards and why, like, oh, why is this, I don't know, this is moving like this in the card, and why is there that little detail in the corner. And I'm like, I don't read like that. I don't read for real people like that. I don't. I'm not like focusing on the history of every card. Like I just, I done it already. I done the studies like that already. Where it's like a whole class and explanation of the different elements in the cards. Why the author put that in there and what does it mean? But it's more of the same, guys. It's more of the same. um okay, can you hear me correctly, guys, or there's an issue? Let me know. Hey, Charlene. Okay. Well, what is it? Does it freeze? Also, I don't. Let's wait. I have the list. It was freezing. No, no, I was asking about the technical issues, Rafi. Um, I want to look for the list you sent me. Oh, maybe it's my internet. Hmm. Maybe it's my internet. Yeah, because um, I have brought my astrological deck. Um, but I'm thinking about. Oh, it's not in this one. Um, because I do have some notes, I do have some notes that of what it came. These are all notes that they came with and some notes that I got from the pages, the tiny white book that it came with, and then I had another notes. But I don't have the list of idols. So maybe what we can do is that, I can I can start with certain placements of the cards that I have here. And then if you guys know of an idol that has those placements, you can mention that person, or if I remember someone, I can mention them. Yeah, I do have a lot. I have like 6 pages. 6 pages. It's just that these cards, with the different images, is for me, it's like it can represent like any placement, like combination that is important in your chart. It can be like sun, moon, it can be Venus, Mars, it can be, I don't know, like sun and rising. I think that the combination, it can go for a lot of aspects. So it's so cool. But yeah, it doesn't have like all the placements. That's why, when you ask me, Fluffy, if there's mine, actually no, because it seems like when it starts with Aries, it seems like Aries has like the combination with almost all the signs. Yes. Then we start with Taurus, but in Taurus, it starts with Gemini. It's a combination of Taurus and Gemini. So see how it sort of starts to, lose certain houses, certain like, because we continue with Taurus, but when we continue with Taurus, it's like the second house. So we move on with Taurus and Gemini. So it's like we are advancing like clockwise in the zodiac wheel, and it loses certain. It doesn't mention um all the signs. Listen, fool. No, we just started. Yeah, it loses a sign. That's why when you get to Capricorn, um, and actually I don't have Pisces. When we get to Capricorn, we have two combinations. Then for Aquarius we have one. And for Pisces we don't have, because Pisces is like the accumulation of all of them together. So, but at the same time we can like use, like, for example, I don't have, I don't know, Capricorn and Scorpio, but I could use a Scorpio and Capricorn, if I wanted to get a bit with what the deck is saying. So it's interesting. It's like you don't lose. You don't lose, but it's a bit tricky. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that is because if they had to follow all the signs with all the combinations, it would be like a huge deck. Yeah, it would have a lot of, probably would reach to 100. This is like the one that has the placements, the combination, but not just that, because it has the combinations, but also it has the individual signs. So this is why, here we have 12, and in here, I don't know how many these are, but we could guess that these are like 30, 40, 30 cards, 40, plus these ones. And I don't know what was the vision of the astrologer. But then I bought a second one because he had published a first book that was called Astrology. It was Astrology, that it was like the holistic view of the astrology. And then he presented this deck. And I remember I was studying astrology on my own as well in a institute. So this is why, that is the visual zodiac. And then he published later another one that is called Visual Zodiac Pro, that it comes with these cards. This is Pluto. you have, this is the sun, and then you have the houses. This is the seventh house. This is Mars. I believe this is Apollyon. This is Mercury. Well, the moon, I believe the moon, you had seen it. You have the first house. See how the first house, it shows you the, you know, the images of the first house. And then we have, in here, we have the trines. I guess this represents the trines of aspects. The trines. This is the 12th house. This is the earth element. This is a square, I guess. A square, is it in English? For us, it's like cuadratura, we say it in Spanish. I guess this is like a square, and it's like 90 degrees. It shows you. Then we have this one. I don't remember this one. Is it sextile? This is Uranus. An sextile, okay. These are cardinal signs. So it has for you to build your own or to build someone's chart with the images is so fitting. It's so nice. The ninth house, the house of knowledge. I have Virgo in the house of knowledge. So this period of Virgo, for me, it opens my mind to studies. This is the, I don't know if I can show this. This is the eighth house. Very literal, the eighth house. I believe this is opposition. The 10th house. This is the first house, the house of Gemini. Look at this. It's so well done. This is Jupiter. This is the house of Virgo, sixth house. It's so nice. Oh, look at this. This is the 11th house, the house of Aquarius. Look at this, the rounded table. Ah, this is Saturn. It's so nice. It's so nice. Oh, this is Chiron. At some point, we should talk about Chiron, Fluffy. I wanted to ask you about Chiron because I have Chiron in Gemini in the fifth house, in the house of Taurus. So, you know, all that about communication. Second house, the house of Taurus. Look at all the belongings. Conjunction. Look at this, the conjunction. So nice. Yeah, but this has a few. See, this has this very little cards in comparison to this that is added to this. It's a lot. It's a lot. I love that Pisces is this genderless creature. This is Pisces. This is Pisces. It's like, you don't know. Hello. No, no, we're just starting. I was showing the cards. Yes. Mm-hmm. Chiron is the wounded healer. The house is probably more important than the sign. For Chiron, because it stays for a long time in the same sign. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about it. I have it in the house of creativity, in the house of not in the house of Taurus. I believe it's in the house of Leo. The fifth house, isn't it the house of Leo? So it's all about, not knowing how to be like, some impediments to as a child to express my goofiness, my childlike and but I think that in my case I did work on this personally because I then when I was studying counseling, I had a professor that he gave like this psychodrama kind of classes, and it was all about self-expression. It was like you playing a part, like it was very fun, very creative. We get to play certain I got to play certain people, to sort of act and lose the fear of, what if I do this right or wrong. It was so fun. It was so fun. So I think that in that sense if you ask me to do a role play or just to be spontaneous, I can. And actually I like it. I discovered that I do like, to act, to perform. Like, I'm not shy at all. But yeah, maybe when I was younger, maybe, yeah, everything was so serious. Like, I think that it wasn't about me. It was more than maybe my family, they didn't do that, or they didn't have, there was no, there was a lot of drama in my household, but there wasn't like any creativity, nor, I don't know, someone in the family being like a poet, or I don't know, a singer, or I think that it was also considered that if I had a relative, or if, someone in the family was going to be like a singer or something like this, it was viewed as non-serious, like, oh, that's not a real job, so creativity wasn't that, um sort of like appreciated. mm, yes. Yeah, I think that people don't talk that much about Kiron, and it's very nice to know. It's very nice to know it. You have to know it to master it. So I think that it's so interesting. Yeah. Okay, guys. Do I pick a random card of the deck, or you want me to start with Aries? Do you want me to start with Aries? I don't know how many, because we're not going to go that deep. But I have some. So maybe, I can say certain placements or certain, and you guys can be like, oh, I know an idol that have this combination. Or if you guys have it, well, we can talk about it. Mm. It's an asteroid, so less important, but I think it does have a weight in the chart too. I believe for me, it's like very close to my north node, but it's not in the same sign, but it's like close to the north node. It's not conjunction, but it's like they are very close. No, we start with Aries and then we move on. I have the combinations. I don't have Aries alone. For example, the first one is Aries Taurus. Do you know any idol that is like a combination of Aries and Taurus? Mm. Aries Taurus or Taurus and Aries. You can also flip it if you want. Potentially Joy Chani of the boys. Mm-hmm. Chani, and I know there's a male idol that is in Aries, Sun, Moon in Taurus. Who is it? Mm. Well, for this combination, the archetype is the farmer. Sehum. Thank you, Saiful. The farmer. Daniel, thank you. Thank you, Akira. The farmer. So definitely a lot of effort. And the combination of the energy Aries Taurus in a person is the keywords is desire, that comes from Aries, desire, and manifestation. Manifestation comes from Taurus. So it's like this strong desire of you wanting to start something, but then having a Taurus placement next to the Aries give it the possibility of manifestation, the possibility of you actually doing something with something, really like working literally. This is why we have, the farm worker, that this archetype, it's all about like giving a purpose. This is why we have the keyword of manifestation, because it gives a purpose to the Aries desire. It's like Aries is always desiring. It's like this pulsion, is this desire in us of taking action. It's like we want to start something, or we want to do something, but we don't know what, or we don't know. We just know that we want to launch our energy to something. We have desires, and next to Taurus, it gives you this ability to literally like work the land, put all the intensity of the energy, the strength, the passion, put it all in the earth, like push yourself to the limit, and get something out of this, get like an outcome, a physical outcome, something out of this. Don't just leave it in the air. Just do something about this. Literally, go and do this. And once you start, finish it. Create something with it. Don't just you be like, oh yeah, I kind of want to start this business, but I don't know. I think that the Aries Taurus combination, it gives the personality of that person, it gives them more grounding, it gives them more a potential of creating something of value, that maybe Aries on its own is more like, yeah, I have desires, I want to do something, but I also get bored quickly. So I don't know if what I'm producing is something of value. I'm just having fun. And I think that the Taurus energy sort of levels up that sort of very childlike energy, initiator energy of Aries, that is like, oh yeah, what I see I want, but I don't know if this will be long lasting. And the Taurus is sort of grabs the person and puts them in the ground, and it's like, okay, with this energy that you have, build something, do best. What that I'm going to read you here, because with the tiny letters I cannot. Mm. And I think it fits him really well because he has tremendous energy on stage, but he's still disciplined and has the stamina to keep up for a whole concert. Mm-hmm. Mm. What we started. Mm-hmm. A bit different, but Jungwon has Venus in Aries and Mars in Taurus. So both planets work together because they rule each other. Uh-huh. Yes. And probably this, the farmer is like the energy, is like the manifestation of energy that he has to put in relationships. It's like, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for you. It's going to be hard work for you to manifest the relationship that you want. But once you're really serious about it, once you put the work, it's because you want to stay. But you definitely want a bit of challenge. You want things to be difficult at some point so you can show how loyal you are, how hardworking you are, how you can make it work. So, this could be also having probably like a romantic um, relationship or connection where it takes a lot of work and a lot of patience, and there's moments where you're like, oh, I think I'm going to break up because we had been doing this for a while and things are not easy and I'm tired. Well, somehow, yeah, there could be some obstacles, but at the end, because we have Taurus doesn't let that Aries energy just escape. And it's like, no, 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 you are not going to move on to the next person that makes it easier for you. No, you're going to stay in this relationship and you're going to work against all that. You're going to work on this. So stay in there. Stay in there. It's going to be worth it. But yeah. Mm. I was fan of a French singer as a teen who passed, but was Taurus Sun and Moon and Aries rising, and a lot of passion on stage. Be direct, straightforward, and simple. Yes, yes. These are people that they will not. They will invest. They will put the energy. They will probably complain. The farmer, it can be a bit like, maybe it's not the most sensitive person. It's not the one that is going to be, subtle in their ways. Probably can be very harsh, in nature. Not having that social skills, sort of like being pleasant or, just being, considerate even. But he's going to show you with the efforts and with the long hours of, showing up and just being there and just, working and just being present. He's going to show you that he really means, what he does. And of course that this, if we think about the artist, yeah, this is someone that is able to build a career for themselves. And even if they are not very likable, maybe their characters are not very likable in the industry, or there's something about them, maybe, having, you know, having people that don't like them, or having maybe arguments with people or disagreements with people or with their own company, their own group, their own band. At the end, they sort of come back and they continue the work. They continue the work. because they are not quitters. They are like, yeah, maybe I'm not everyone's favorite. Maybe my character and my essence is not like all this pretty looking. It's not that like sensual attractive, but I will make it work anyways. I will show you. I will have the result that I want. I will materialize. I will create it in the material realm. I will create good results. Even if I have people that maybe they're like, can you stop it? Like, we don't want to see you anymore. Maybe these people are like, no, you're going to hear from me. You're going to hear from me. Okay. Think about an idol or artist that has Aries Gemini. Gemini Sun, Aries Moon. June. Mm. Wonko. Bueno. Moon, Gemini, Aries, Venus. Okay. For this combination, we have Aries, Gemini, the discussion. The discussion. So in here, there's again the combination of the desire of Aries with the communication of Gemini. So in the person, there's this inner world, inner dialogue. It could be like a very intimate communication, where I think that the person sometimes wants to make sense of this dual side that they have. Maybe they reject it for a while. There's something about them maybe being a bit, angry or frustrated. Are there, like, why don't you take a side? This is why maybe in connections or when they show themselves, it seems like they are always like super angry, or like there's like there's a potential of them arguing or having a discussion about certain topics that you're like, but why are you bringing this up now? Like, it seems like the energy of Aries is very, and a bit of escapism of Gemini. It's like this very odd combination of energies that probably are not that good for each other, because I think that this could be a person that somehow they don't like to I think that there's something about them probably not being taken seriously, because it seems like they want to use communication, probably because the Gemini opens communication, but maybe the tone or the energy or what they exude is this very aggressive and Martian kind of energy that maybe, it's very interesting feedback or exchange that you can have with this person. But there's something about their body language or maybe the way they express themselves that it sounds like it's very aggressive or is erratic. Either they're angry at themselves or they are angry at you. These could be people also that probably they could, get a bit frustrated if you don't listen to them, or if you don't pay attention, or if they feel or they perceive that you are not paying attention. It could also create a bit of problems in the communication. Like, even if this is like a Gemini person, maybe the Aries moon or the strong Aries aspect can make the person be a bit, contradictory, like what they say or what they want to express, it doesn't get along very well. So, or they have this sort of menacing kind of attitude that you're like, oh, you say you want to talk, but your body language is telling me that you probably just want to debate. Like, instead of having a conversation, it's more like a debate, so it can be like a nature or an emotional reaction that you're like, I don't get these people. I'm intimidated by them because I'm afraid that if I say something wrong, they are going to come at me or they are going to attack me. Um, mm, so maybe some of them, it depends on the other aspects of the chart, but maybe some of them could also, refrain from talking because they are like, I know that when I get passionate about, certain topics, I can get a bit aggressive or I can get a bit restless. So, and I having, arguments with people. So it's this very charged Martian, for someone that probably just wants to communicate and just it's never casual with these people. It's never casual. It's never like, oh, this is just a conversation. No, they're going to defend their point of view until the end of earth. um mm, Mingyu, who has Aries Sun Gemini rising, was calling Jung out on losing his temper easily. And who reminds me of this? About this actor, Killian Murphy, the actor of Peaky Blinders. I believe he's a Gemini with a moon in Aries. And I think that there's something just very yeah, very Aries about the way he just participates in conversations. I think that there had been even memes after him, and also him not knowing that he has a meme, that what is a meme. um I think that, or an emoji, he doesn't use emoji. So is this rebel energy, of like, whatever you think that conversation is, I don't do that. Whatever you guys use to communicate, I don't do that. Like, that's lame. I don't my way, you know. Yes, yeah, it's also very childish. Yeah, yeah. It's just that it can get a bit like uncomfortable. If you don't know how to navigate this, you can be like, oh my God, am I in trouble? Like, what did I start? This combo enhances Aries impulsivity. Yes. Yeah, I remember he didn't like when an interviewer called him English instead of Irish. Interviewer was like, oh, but same. He was like, no, not the same. Yes, super stoic. Yes. Yes. Okay. Think about Aries and Cancer placements. Oh, my ex was Gemini Sun, Aries rising, very direct, completely canceled the Gemini duality. Ah, thankfully. Yeah, very straightforward. Yeah, just wants an answer and not, yes. Now, Aries and Cancer. Think about Aries and Cancer. Aries and Cancer is very simple. It's not that complex. Actually, the Aries placement always brings this simplicity in the person's personality. It's not that like complex. Jungi Cancer Mars, Aries Cancer Sun Karina, Jungi Cancer Mars and Aries Venus. We have the Amazon woman. The Amazon woman. I'm covering because the Amazon woman. So in this case, it's like the combination of desire, remember Aries desire, and Cancer emotion. So this is the Amazon woman, or the Amazonian, I don't know how you guys call it in English. But I think that if we think about Aries and Cancer, this is a kind of action or a kind of like reaction, I would say, of this placement that usually, this Amazon woman, they they appear very strongly when they feel like they have to defend their territory, their people, their family, um, their town. It's not so much. I think that triggers the Aries energy in them. It's not about like, oh, you did me, or I defend my people. So if you come after my people or the people that I love, I'm going to attack you. I'm going to take action, and I'm going to fight until the end. Until the end. This is why the Amazon is like this very, relentless warrior. But it's like, with this Aries and Cancer combination, it's like, this person can be actually pretty chill, and just, you seeing her and be like, I don't think that this person is like aggressive at all, or actually they seem very sweet. They seem very like cute, and there's something of course, the Cancer energy, with the emotion, and there's something about them just appearing very like sweet, or even like they cannot even hurt a fly, but just that one of their own, touch one of their people or family, and they will go after you. They will go after you, and they will attack you. That's the one of the things that I would say that gets this energy going. I would say that it is sort of like um, uh, fires up the energy. Otherwise, you don't see it. You don't see it that often, because the Aries and Cancer energy is like, yeah, the desire for conflict, I would say, or for action is somehow like attached to my mood or to my emotionality. So if I'm happy or if I'm content, and if I feel like you respect me, or that you you respect my people, or that we are all a happy family, I'm going to be the sweetest. Now, if there's conflict, you are going to see me. To go after you because you are people. And usually, like these people also, we could also think about Aries and Cancer energy. That probably is like is giving me that maybe these people show this this warrior energy. Usually, it displays at home. Maybe if there's not. I think that there's something about these people maybe being a bit, I don't want to say aggressive, but there's something about them being reactive or them showing their true, passionate self when they are at home. Or maybe they show this impulsivity more at home, not so much on other aspects. Maybe if you meet them and if you see them on a very public and social event, you're like, oh, but they're so nice. They are always cool with everyone. They don't have any issues. They're always so nice. But wait till you live with them. Wait till they get home. In the home is where they show this sort of, this need to protect, or this sort of like maybe it could be a bit of anger or impatience, and even being a bit, selfish. They show it at home. They don't show it to strangers. They show it at home. People that know them, family members, know about this. Mm, mm, mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm, mm-hmm. Mm, yeah. Okay, guys. I'm going to move on to Aries Leo. Think about an idol that has this combination: Aries Leo. Aries Leo. Aries Leo combination. Sonu. This is very Sonu, yes. Mark. Aries Leo. Leo Aries. It suits. Okay. The Conqueror. Jake and Hypen. Aries Moon. Leo Rising. The Conqueror. So this combination, Aries, Leo, Leo, Aries, is the combination of desire of Aries and self-expression. Self-expression. In here, we enter into the energy of Leo, that is all about expression. It's all about you taking out, whatever you have, and it's like share it with the world. Show yourself. Talk about it. Don't be shy. And Aries and Leo is a very interesting fire combination, of course, of where the person feels, very um like the more myself, the luckier I am. And this is, when I say lucky, I don't mean it like, lucky because of Jupiter. No, it is because of, self-actualization. There's something about Leo's energy in combination with Aries that is like these two signs that they know no boundaries. It's like they're always pushing it for themselves. They're always like nurturing themselves. They're like, okay, I want to do this. And as long as I believe that, what I'm doing, if it resonates or it aligns with how I feel or what I want, it goes well. It goes well. Because I know that, my vision is over there. So if I follow it, I'm going to be fine. So these are people that basically they don't fear. This is why we have the conqueror. They don't fear. They're like, okay, I can make mistakes, because the Aries energy, of course, we are talking about a very young, impulsive energy. Sometimes, yeah, Aries brings a bit of, like, okay, I don't want to be responsible of what I create. I'm just being me, or I'm just following my desire. But the self-expression also of Leo is like this combination that these are the kind of people that you cannot be mad at themselves for conquering whatever they're after. So yes, their energy is very open, is very much in your face, is very much like, yeah, I think I'm the best, or I think that I can be the best. I think that no one is better than me. There's no competition, but it's because they are centered in the self. They are not looking at like, oh, wow, does this person have the same that I have? No, they are more focused on winning themselves. So this is why they have this sort of like confidence, this confidence that they shine, and they put the body to a lot of situations. They put the body, they are like, yeah, this is what I am, this is what I did, yeah, no, very just like the fire energy, just very spontaneous. It's like, I don't think about the past. I just do what I want to do, and I follow, and I conquer. There's no feelings, no emotionality, no like, oh, this is personal. Of course, it depends on the rest of the chart, but there's something about this person, just this energy being a conqueror. Or if it's a woman, someone that conquers also. Um, and then there's something about this part that it says, that um, these are great leaders as well. Someone with this energy is a great leader, and I think that this energy, Aries and Leo, or Leo and Aries, invites the person. Is like, express yourself, but do it firmly, do it with bravery. Be brave. Be brave when you express yourself. Don't do it with a soft side. This is why, this could be people that are not that popular, like, in the sense that they can have people that are like, oh, you look how far they came, they're amazing. And then you have people that they are like, oh, I'm tired of them because they always win things, yeah, because they're very competitive, and they live to chase, they not to chase perfection nor chase recognition. It's just that it's integrated in them, the desire for self-expression. It's like, I am doing great. I don't know about you, but I think I done amazing. So so there's this like, and it's contagious. This is why these people could be like great leaders, like motivational coaches, I don't know, like because they have this thing that is like, I know that, I done amazing, yeah, and I'm perfect, and I tell myself that, and it's because it's simple. It's because they launch themselves to whatever they have to do, and they master it, and they are not afraid. Neither they are not even afraid of the consequences. Maybe the consequences are that maybe these are not the most liked people, because some can be like, oh, you're too cocky, or you're too much, you're always, I don't know, it seems like they're always signing up to something new. or they're always part of something, they're everywhere. So it can create a bit of like people being a bit repelled by the energy. It's like, especially the ones that are introverted, it's like, I'm repelled by your energy. How do you do it? How can you be all like 24/7? How can you be always like this? How can you be this? And they just can. They can, because they are conquerors. Probably they came into this life to conquer. It's like, yeah, I know how it feels. And I love a good challenge. I love a good challenge. This is why probably they sign up to a lot of things, because they can. They can. They can. Mm, mm, yes. You either like them or not, but at least the comments is straightforward about its expression. More centered on the self. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm, mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, now think about Aries and Virgo. Which idol has Aries and Virgo? Chanyeong, Irene, Aries Sun, Virgo Moon. Mm, yes. For Aries and Virgo, the chess player. The chess player. Mm. Yeah, in here it's the combination of desire of Aries and service. We are entering Virgo energy. Service, the desire to be of service. So in here we still have the competitiveness of Felix. With the competitiveness of Aries, because they are like, observing the, what is the other person going to do, what are they going to say. In here with the chess player also, there's not a spontaneity. There's not like, oh well, I'm just playing. No, it's like, I'm like trying to figure you out. Before I move or before I advance in a connection, conversation, in exchange of words with you, nothing is out of luck. Nothing is left to the lucks, to the heavens. No, I anticipate every move, and I'm very calculating. I'm very calculating. I'm very calculative. And I think about like, okay, why did you say that to me? Like what is the purpose? What is the use? But also, this could be a person that when they really care about someone, um, they 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 use this ability to pay attention to details, and they're like, I have to tell you this. We, I don't know, participated in this event and you didn't notice, but I did. That there's something wrong in here, or you missed this, so I wanted to let you know that, you know these people, it's like, it's not that, because there's something about the Aries combination that allows the person to also be very honest about what they see. It's like, yeah, I have the power, the ability to be deductive, or the ability to be very observant, but I have to show it to the world. I have to let you know that this is what I'm seeing, or this is what I think that is happening, or I saw that you mess up in here, so I have to let you know. And probably, again, this is not a very, loving and just sweet, energy, but it's an energy that takes care of the details. And I think that there's something about these people, they need to be ready. This is why probably if they like chess, or to play chess, they kind of can see life as a chess match. Somehow trying to predict people's movements. It's like, okay, if I say this, what are you going to say back? And if I say this, and if I move like this, very concentrated. And I don't think that they compete with people. I don't think that this combination competes with people, but they know they are smart. They know that they have the hand. They have like the something that it's they have certain advantages. They probably know things. Of being like, oh, so you did this and this. So if you have someone that has this combination, if you want to ask them for a very honest review, go and ask them, because they will tell you like it is. They don't sugarcoat things, but they probably take their time to tell people what they think. They probably it also, this combination also Virgo Aries, it could also make the person a bit awkward socially. Like it's not that gentle. It's not that another energy that is not very compatible, just like we've seen with Gemini. Like it seems like a push and pull of, I want to be proper, or I want to be collected in myself, but at the same time my Aries part, like sort of is shouting at me, like, just do it already. Like they have probably this like, is it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? They have this, that the good person, the person that wants to do things correctly, and then you have the other, the beast, the monster that is like, just get this over with, like, say it now. And it's like, but I have to think more about this, so yeah. But yeah, I think that also the keyword for this card was organize your passions. Organize your passions. Definitely this person have to have a hobby where they can push their passions, and maybe their need to dominate, or they need to be the winner. So if they can actually play this, maybe this is very healing also for someone with that energy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm. Uh-huh. Yes, these people are able to achieve a lot, but there's a lot of stress inside. Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's go with Aries and Libra. I think that this one I did show you guys. This one I did show you. We talked about this one. Aries and Libra. Wait. Yes. Tango. Tango. So yeah, dance to the beat of your partner. Dance to the beat of your partner. And this is another complex one, because for an Aries to having to wait for another person, it's like, what? It's like, what? In here with Aries and Libra, we have the combination of the desire of Aries, and then the combination or the, you know, the association of Libra is like, you know, how for them is so important, the other is so important. So this is why, you know, the tango is so, because the tango is also a dance that is so sensual or is so passionate or it's so, you know, it's very much on the skin. So you have to become one with the other person, and you have to somehow let you be guided and vice versa. You know, it's like a very push and pull energy, but you cannot break the contact. So in here, you know, there's some parts I said in Aries and Libra, it says you need to coordinate movements with your partners. So it's like let yourself be carried away by passion and someone will join you. So somehow it's like always waiting for another person to complete them. You know, maybe in important aspects of their lives, there's going to be this need to somehow wait for the right person. This could be a relationship, this could be, you know, another people, this could be a best friend, this could be, you know, a business partner, but it's like you have to wait for the partner. You know, you have to wait for that person. And once you do, you have to adapt to that rhythm. You know, you have to dance accordingly to how that person moves. So somehow it's about forgetting about you and focusing like on like, okay, how are you going to do this? How are you going to move? Like, do I do this? Do I not do this? Does it look clumsy? Is this good enough? Like, what if I don't like this? Or what if I don't know this? So it's very, I think that is nice. It's a very passionate um feedback, I would say, you know, to know that life, because I think that there's some Libra that somehow is like, you know, the right, this is why there's a part in here that is said that the right person will follow your rhythm. They will adapt to the rhythm that you're creating, to your lifestyle, to the way you are, and vice versa. You know, probably, you know, if you think about an Aries sun and you are like, oh no, but I'm so independent and, you know, I know myself and I know I'm difficult or I know I'm complicated, but you know this part of yourself, but you don't know how much potential and how much you can learn when you let another person join you in this tango. So is the proximity, is the complementarity, is this rhythm that you guys create together. And in there, there's your self-actualization. In there, there's, you know, what you can learn. You know, so probably for someone that is hyper independent, you know, someone that is like a self, like very, someone that is self-made, you know, someone that is like, you know, on my own, I've done amazing things. Yeah, but you know, the Aries Libra also invites you to wait for your other half, you know, because in there with them, you are really going to find your true purpose and you're also going to grow as a person. So somehow is I think that it's also it's nice to see an Aries person, you know, somehow letting a bit go of themselves and their ego, and just for the sake of the relationship. You know, I think that and for Aries and Libra or Libra and Aries people, I noticed that there's like a huge frustration sometimes when they feel like they do things for others, or they think that maybe, oh, you know, I think that this person will be part of my life because I think that I'm great and I done things for them, and then disappointment happens, you know, where the other person doesn't want to be with you, or the other person leaves, or the other person abandons you, or the other person is not ready, you know, because being with an Aries, there's a lot of intensity, there's a lot of push and pull in their, you know, in their nature. But I think that the Aries and Libra is like you need of the other. You need of the other to balance you, because on your own you're going to fall, because you need the other half. You need it. You need it. You need to be dancing like this, because in there they also can practice flexibility. Then they can promote this flexibility in themselves, that maybe individually they don't have it. They need of the other. Mm, mm, mm. I like this combo of Libra rising with Aries descendant and Mars conjunction. I feel like love life is very Libra Aries. They all, yes. Mm. Weirdly, I found Aries was a sign with who I had the most equal relationship. Whereas I could felt like the other one wasn't giving as much with other combos. Seems like an Aries forced to come. Yes, yeah, it's like they need of the other person to evolve. They need of the other person to evolve. Yes. Okay, Aries Scorpio. Aries Scorpio. I don't know if I have it here, because I think that I didn't see it. Oh, here. Aries Scorpio, very Martian. Lisa. My girl seems like a Pisces first. Um, Renjun of NCT Dream. We have the card of the Knight and the Dragon. The Knight and the Dragon. In here, the desire of Aries combines with the intensity of a Scorpio. So it is, yes, it's really like a life or an experience where there's a lot of fights. There's a lot of obstacles, or this person has to become a sort of like warrior or a knight in their own life. It seems like they have to get very sort of play with death, and with rebirth, and probably feeling a bit under attack, even if it's like a perception, because I think that the person with displacement has their perception wrong, but probably they tend to um, assimilate everything from this energy of the night, of like, oh, either you are ally or you are an enemy. So it's very aggressive. It's like these people are great survivors, I would say. They are great defeaters, like you can see them overcome a lot of obstacles and just, definitely command their lives, and just, come back, and just being, you know, also I think that these are people that they wear their scars, or as if they were medals, like, oh, I went through this, I went through this. These were very challenging and dark moments for me, but I overcome them, and I'm proud of them, and this is where I am. But also, you know um this is that this reflects the inner fight or the inner conflict with the external conflict. So these are people that, sometimes there's this sort of feeling of persecution, of like, there's always going to be a battle somewhere. There's always going to be like, a fight, an argument, an obstacle, a catastrophe. Like there's this like, oh, I'm a warrior, so what do warriors do? They their life is all about fights and defeating and be a winner or be a survivor. So somehow they have to learn to see through this very intense and very impulsive energy of like, what is this external conflict that you are receiving or that you are seeing that is part of your life? What are they saying about your inner world? Because whatever they are attracting on the exterior it sort of resonates with something that is happening inside of them already. So they have to learn to probably maybe separate a bit from conflict and do not get used to always being so reactive or so ready to react. It's like not everyone is your enemy. Not everyone is up to get you. Sometimes their worst enemy is themselves. So they have to, instead of being on the defensive, I mean, like, oh, someone is going to attack me. You better take it into yourself and be like, okay, what is going on with me inside that I feel so unsafe? Why am I so on this mode of being in a constant battle with others? Because there has to be a limit, there has to be a stop, there has to be boundaries, there has to be alliances, there has to be peace. You cannot always be like this. Yeah, you could be amazing at defeating people and proving them wrong and just being a winner, and you can do this all your life if you want to, but this is not a good life. This is conflict after conflict after conflict after. It seems like conflict attracts another one and another one and another one, and it's like life is not like that. Just to the Scorpio energy is somehow also pushing for you to find that meaning. Like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why do you put yourself into this very like nerve-wracking and traumatic experiences? Like, just like you went through this once, that's it. You don't in another situations, like, no, don't get addicted to drama. Mm. So Mars, Pluto, even Scorpio Mars can be similar. Yes. Mm. 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 Yes. Like it gives Aries depth, but it gives I wanna wreck it energy. Spirit, as far as being determined, ambitious, and combative in this competitive industry. Yeah, but definitely it's about calling out the haters, calling out the people that don't like me, calling out the people that they say awful things about me. Like come out of the darkness and say to my face, I know what you're saying, or I know what you're doing. So somehow them And I think that when we think about this, we think about what happened with Renjun. He did call these people, these awful people that were attacking him. He was like, you guys are such cowards. Like, come out. I know what you're doing. I know who you are. And at the end, this, because he was so spontaneous and so upfront, and he just exposed them, then, things didn't go, the way, this created more chaos. So, and probably affected his mental health as well. So I think that some things are not meant to always be challenged. Yes, you can have conflicts, yes, or you can have enemies, or you can have, these people that want to bring you down, but you don't always have to come and meet them. Don't give them, just ignore them. Not ignore them, but just don't give them all your energy. Don't give them, that energy of yours. Don't give this intensity of yours. They don't deserve it, because they are like vampires. They keep sucking of it. So if you keep putting it out, they are going to, consume you, and you will never stop, because these people don't stop. So it's like you have to, that phrase that is like, choose your battles wisely. Well, that's the right, the right term. So do you guys, because I know that I can be like this forever, but it has a lot of, placement. So maybe if you Fluffy, if you have some, people that you want me, or famous people that have, in a specific combo, and you want me to talk about it, instead of me just going through the whole zodiac, because there's a lot of there's a lot, but I just wanted to show you as much of these cards as possible. Mm. This combo seems pretty common in K-pop. Also, Taehyun, Scorpio Moon, Aries Mars. Beomgyu, Aries Mars, Scorpio Moon. Taehyun especially is the type to say things very directly, although he lies to our face too at times. Two of my biases are Aqua Virgo. Aquarius Virgo. No, I don't have it. I have Virgo Aquarius. Wait. Virgo Aquarius I have. Is it the same? Virgo Aquarius? Virgo Aquarius is actually, yes, it's very simple. It's the astrologer. It's the astrologer. It's in full. Yeah, we're just going through some people. The astrologer. In the astrologer, it says the keywords are service of Virgo and reticularity. That this is something that I learned about, Aquarius placements. Reticularity. Reticularity. So it says, comprehension will come when you connect with the meaning of what is happening to you. Yeah, that somehow they have to believe in the cosmos. It says that they have to believe in the cosmos, that they have to become astrologers. I don't know. that they have the potential of becoming astrologers. They have to go to study astrology, and in the combo, in the cosmos, they will find the answers. Yeah, it's very, yeah. But I think that it sort of makes sense because, if we think about reticularity, that it's is the keyword, it comes out every time you see an association of Aquarius with another sign. And reticularity is like this, this networking sort of, the assemble of different parts. So I think that when we think about Virgo, and when we think about that Virgo will be like the student, and when we think about the system of astrology is very Aquarius. It's very Aquarius. Actually, I remember that my astrology teacher, she used to say that usually people that are Aquariuses, or that have a strong Aquarius or Uranus placements, that they are really good, or they have the potential of becoming really good astrologers. I don't know if that's a must for you to become a good astrologer, but she's like, every time, it's like astrology is a symbol, or is a language that usually people that have a strong Uranus or Aquarius placements or influence, they are able to pick the patterns faster than anyone else. And there's something about the houses, the observation of knowledge, the contemplation of all the aspects, that is very Aquarius. So, maybe this is why it's so simplistic. I had to look for the definition of reticularity. It's about something being a structure having a pattern. Yeah, wow, this deck is on point. My biases would maybe enjoy listen to me ranting about astrology. And I have Moon conjunction Uranus and Saturn in Aqua, and I love astrology. Yes, yeah, that's what she told me. She was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was like, and actually it was funny because two of the girls that they were with me in the class, the two of them were friends, and they were astrologers. They were Aquariuses themselves, and they were 17. I remember we were a group of, different ages, but they were like, the youngest ones. They were about to finish high school, and they were already interested in astrology, and they were so intelligent. I remember one of them showed me that they had, because of course there's apps that, you can, I believe they bought an app um from overseas, because they had iPhones. So, I think that they were able to buy a program, an astrology program, that it had all, the details and everything. And they were so good at absorbing, and they were so fast to understand the patterns, the um how the system works. And I saw it, and I was like, yeah, definitely, when you have Aquarius, it shows, how easy it is for them to understand this sort of like correlation of, it's amazing. It's amazing. And how also to this is why I think that for me it's also very important to sometimes when you study with others, you learn so much from the others, because we are all part of a big web. There's not a sign nor a placement that is like, oh, I'm better than the others. No, we all have something of the other sign in our chart. It's just that we are not looking at it, but we are influenced by a lot of things. Yes. Yeah, and Virgo wants to analyze and make it make sense. And also I think that this also can be, that sometimes I when I meet certain Aquarius, my dad is an Aquarius, Aquarius moon, And I had friends that were Aquarius as moon as well. And for me, when they speak or when they are really passionate talking about something, for me it's like alien language. I don't understand the way they, like, it seems like when they say certain things or when they are telling you a story, it starts well. It starts, it's like you are following and you're like, okay, you're telling me this, I understand. And then they go like, you're like, what what are you talking about? Like, I don't understand what is it like. The way they communicate, maybe, or the way they share the information, it's so different that you end up like not understanding much. So it is, yeah. And then outer space, yes, there's always outer space. There's always outer space. Yeah. I was, but I was paying attention. It's not like I wasn't listening. I was paying attention, but then they lost me. They lost me, and I'm like, it be making this up. Mm, mm. Okay, another one, Fluffy, or Samara, or um another placements. Mm-hmm. I love Aquarius. They always bring different perspective. I would never have thought about Libra and Scorpio. Mm. Sometimes I forget about the symbolism of Libra. I don't know why. Ah, okay. Well, this is very, very obvious, but yeah, it's Tantra. Tantra. Also Momo. Momo, her sister. Yeah, Tantra. It says complementation and intensity. So definitely they do learn a lot, you know. And it says that, for them, it's also about the encounter with the other. And that they don't have to be afraid of these encounters to be deep and transformative, because when we have Libra, that Libra loves, balance. They love, a pleasant experience, a good thing, for things to be fair. So there's something about, like, okay, let's, I love relationships, I love meeting people, and I love, there's something about these people just being very social, and they're like, yeah, I love this. But the Scorpio combination is like, is going to be deep, and it's going to be transformative. So maybe, when we think about, this combination, is like, yeah, you're going to grow and you're going to transform a lot thanks to these connections, thanks to these relationships. You need relationships. They're going to make you stronger. They're going to teach you a lot. But at the same time, you will never be the same, and sometimes certain connections, they are not meant to last, or they are not meant to stay. It doesn't matter how passionate it felt initially, or how strongly you felt for that person, and that you were like, like this tantra couple, like you're like, oh, but we are one soul, and when I was with that person I felt like they were my one, and they were the only person, and I don't want anyone else. Well, that's part of the experience. It felt like that, but probably had to end, and it's going to break your heart, and it's going to be tough, and it's going to be nasty, but you're going to grow. You're going to come out different out of this experience. It's just that, probably also talks about, sexuality, the use of sexuality. This is why we have Tantra, how these very deep connections, sexual connections, but they have to have this element of intimacy, of, you guys being very into each other. It has to be intense. It has to be intense for this to be transformative. But at the same time, it probably is not like the person is going to meet the one and get married and it's going to be simple like that. No, because when we have Libra and Scorpio, things are never simple. It's like a combination that always craves more, or you attract people that always crave more out of you. So it's a very intense placement. Probably you've been also the object of desire of a lot of people. You've been attractive, and you've been like a sex symbol, or you've been, this very, alluring figure that people just look at you and they're like, oh, sex, like, oh, because you're so sexy, and when I see you I think about this. So probably these people have to, learn to maybe, yeah, practice safe sex, but also, to not use it in a nor compulsively nor in a superficial way. I don't know why I think that there could be something about this person in a different aspect of their lives if this doesn't go well, or if they lose someone that they love. They could actually reject sex, or reject being perceived as sexual, or use their sexual. I don't know why it's giving me sexual magic. Like this person could be really good at, I don't know, manifesting something with, well, we have Tantra. So, this very like using your sexual energy to create, to manifest, to make a reality come true. So I think that these people have the ability to transform with their bodies. They need of the other person as well, but there could be also a rejection coming from them. It depends on their experiences. They could actually, prefer to stay for a while until they somehow detox their body, their soul, because they could attract people that they could have very low energy, and they just are looking someone to attach their clothes on. So, yeah, this combination, it's very attractive. It's very attractive. And also the Libra, this is why I want to show you the Libras. I know I showed you this before, but in this deck, the Libra energy is the geisha. So sometimes the Libra men and women, they have this ability of being very pleasant, not just beautiful, of having this very pleasant, body language, or the way they talk to you, or the way they get close to you. They have this beautiful tone of voice. They have this mannerism. They are very classy. So if you add this to also being sexual, it's like a combination of, like, it can attract, a lot of unwanted attention. And this I said a lot of times when we were talking, about this combination of signs. It's heavy. It's heavy. Mm. Like probably also, learning that through sex, it doesn't matter how good it gets, you cannot attach anyone. Like, if they are going to leave, they're going to leave anyways. It doesn't matter if you are great at it, if you're a master at this. If the person is going to leave you, they're going to leave you anyway. Or if they're meant to be awful partners, they're going to be awful partners anyways. Mm. I saw geishas are, usually can marry because their fans get mad and not accepted. That's sad. Kind of reminds me of idols. Especially when you're young and the energy is not owned, it can bring the wrong kind of attention. Yeah. I remember my astrology teacher. She said that sometimes one of the when they have this strong combination of Scorpio and Libra. If it's a guy, I don't know, but in her experience, she was like, she was 16, and I had to sit her down and somehow explain it like a mother, because I saw her birth chart and I'm like, like she saw the aspects, everything she knows about this, and she's like, this can attract experiences in intense experiences. So she somehow was like, you have to be careful with this, not to scare the person, but to be like, you could be prone to have these intense relationships, so just be careful, take care, get to know yourself, always, go back to yourself, don't lose yourself, or just try to regulate if it's too intense. If you get attached to someone, or if you get obsessed with someone, don't go crazy, just breathe, and just avoid obsessions. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Virgo Scorpio. Wait, wait. There's something about me, forgetting about certain symbols, and I'm like, what was it? Virgo Scorpio. Huh. Yeah, Virgo Scorpio, we have the acupuncturist. Yeah, acupuncturist. The acupuncturist. So you're going to see, yeah, with Virgo, you're going to see a lot of professions or roles of service. So yeah, it's mostly like professions or something practical that they can do with their ability to serve others. But yeah, the acupuncture, acupuncturist, it said recycle energy, do it rationally, organize and advance to gain potency and vitality, and don't be afraid of a little bit of pain. So I don't know, could this be a dentist as well? Someone that um is like a good professional, very specific, but also there's a bit of something that he has to do that is applying pain to others. So I don't. But yeah, I think yeah, it's very interesting with the acupuncturist. Yeah, it's about like recycle energy. So it's very interesting if you think about Virgo and Scorpio, recycling energy, because um I think that you have to study yourself, or you have to become, you have to become very good at what you do. This is something about, Virgo placements, that I think that it somehow, it pushes people to just be a master of this, whatever you're doing or whatever energy you encounter or you are associated with. You have to be the best. You have to be really good at your job. This is why I think that probably, in certain like medicine, in certain maybe routines, you do need to have, a Virgo person or someone that has a strong Virgo placements, to somehow being able to dissect and organize and just remember and detail what they're doing. Because you cannot have someone that is going to be like all cute and social with you and just being like a great conversationalist, but at the end they're not paying attention to what they're doing. So I think that sometimes, when we think about Scorpio, is like Scorpio and Virgo, there's an element of like, yeah, this is not like the traditional like kind of medicine, but at the same time, I can recycle your energy and I can use what you have available. I can use it to maybe, heal a pain of yours or give you an alternative. Um, and and there's something also about trust. When we think about acupuncture, there's something about you have to trust their hands, that they know what they're doing and where they're putting the needle in, because you have to trust that they are the best, that those hands are the best. So that it's just something about them, having to be very a master, a master of these positions of theirs. This is not about luck nor spontaneity. This is about study and precision. Just be, precise. And this is why every time you see, an image of a Virgo person, this is not about to be, a stereotypical and be like, oh, they always wear glasses. No, but somehow you need to wear glasses, or you need, a magnifying glass or whatever, because you are going deep and you are going very closely into the subject, into the matter. So you need to get close. You need to be, as close as possible. It cannot be done at a distance. I just look at you and I'm like, oh yeah, you have that. Go home. No, it has to be close, personal, and even painful. You can be a bit, when you say a bit of pain, but that also, the Virgo placements, they cannot be, they have to organize. This is why you cannot mess with the organization um of a Virgo placement. You cannot interrupt them and be like, oh well, whatever, if you miss, or if you just cannot find the tool, use another thing. And they're like, no, it has to be like I always do it. It has to be done this way. It cannot be done the other way. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, we have to trust our Virgo people, especially in this field. mm, mm. Kind of random, but I notice Aquarius are the one wearing glasses the most. Yes, that also. But when I show it to you, the astrologist, remember that it was Aquarius and Virgo. So this is why they're always with. There's another one also that I don't know if someone had mentioned this, but I don't know if I have it. Where do I have it? Also, Cancer and Virgo is you have a pediatrician. And then there's another one that I believe it's that is also so fitting, because um, this one, Taurus and Virgo, that basically is like the archetype says the maid. But if you see this is the combination of Taurus and Virgo. But if you see, she's not just cleaning any house or any, like, any kind of, appliance, or just, a product. She's cleaning something of value. This is why we have the combination of Virgo and Taurus. And in this part it says, it's a combination of materialization and service. And actually here we say the maid, but this could also be someone that they bought something very expensive, or they own something very expensive. Maybe they inherited something, that they cherish very much, and they're just being very, peculiar about cleaning it. And in here it says, what you own is important. um, and for this to be important, you have to continue to take care of this for this to be in good shape. So this is why, when we think about, some people, when we're like, oh, that person is a clean freak, or that person, is too obsessed with cleaning. But sometimes, especially in this combination, Taurus and Virgo, there's the obsession with cleanliness is not so much about like, oh, I want things to be clean. It's more about, I value what I possess. So if I want this to be of value in the future, I have to take care of this. Either I hire someone that is going to clean it for me, or I clean it myself. But if I want something of value to be long lasting, or to be in good condition, or to be, to be well, I have to take care of this. I have to clean it regularly. I have to be very, very specific about it, very intentional about it. What is she doing? She's cleaning. She's cleaning the image. It's just that maybe it's blurry. Mm. Capricorn Pisces. I don't know if I have a Capricorn Pisces. Ah, this one. Fluffy showed it the other day. Capricorn Pisces. I want to show it to you. The musician. It says structure and resonance, structure of Capricorn and resonance of Pisces. You have to be diligent and applied to the spiritual. So it means that, you know, whatever you do, I mean, if it's being a spiritual, or if it's, you know, like probably you have a lot of artistic abilities, you have to be consistent in those. You have to put a lot of practice, a lot of, you know, just put a lot of structure in this in order for this to go well. Because, you know, sometimes Pisces, yeah, is very talented. They just own talents, or they have, you know, the ability to just, you know, maybe when it comes to expression, when it comes to the arts, they are amazing at it. But you still, with the Capricorn, it's going to take you a while probably, but you have to take it seriously. If this is what you want, if you want to be a musician, or if you want to be an artist, you have to have a structure in your and dedication in your apprenticeship, or in the way you study, in the way you perfectionate yourself. You have to have a structure. You cannot just only rely on, like, oh well, but you know, I'm talented, like, you know, absorb, you know, knowledge, remember, you know, no, you have to give it a structure. You have to give it a structure. So yes, but definitely a lot of people that probably have, like, you know, are Capricorns, that, you know, could have a good career at being musicians, could be someone that has a strong Pisces placement as well. So yeah, very important, very important. No, no, I'm no musician, no. No, no, I suck at music. But you know why? Is because I don't have the structure. I don't have the. It's like I get impatient. I remember when I was at school and I had this, you know, the music. We had to play instruments, and I remember even my dad. He bought me a, not a piano. It was like, I don't know how you call it. I call it, here we call it an organ, but not organ of the body. It was like a piano, but it's like a keyboard. It's not a piano. Um, because I was like, oh, I want to learn how to play the piano. I think that I used it twice, and then he had to give it away because I didn't want to. I didn't want to play with it anymore. So you know, I'm in this case. I think that it's sort of it's very it's very interesting. But if you don't have the structure, if you don't have, you know, the discipline, there's no way you can make it. There's no way you can make it. This is why we have these idols that they start from a very young age, you know, and they rehearse and they rehearse and you rehearse, and maybe, you know, they're you know, the performance is only going to last like 3 minutes of their lives, but it must be the free most rehearsal 3 minutes of their lives, you know. So yeah, he's the most talented. Sad he had a lot of anxiety when his solo career was doing so well, but he seems to enjoy being a dad. Yeah, it's just that this is the thing, is that for me, the combination of Capricorn and Pisces, they can get a bit overwhelmed with emotions, especially because I think that maybe a Pisces moon, um, and I have a lot of placements in Pisces, and I have Mercury in the 12th house, Neptune in the 12th house, so I know a bit about it, but I give it shape, and I always go back to the reality. This is why I think it's important to remind these people that have, you know, especially moon Pisces, that is very personal. They have to go back to work as soon as possible, because if you leave them, you know, maybe taking a break, or if you just leave them to be isolated, they probably will not go back. They will not come back. because there's something about the Pisces energy that if it's very addictive, for you to stay, in a place where you don't, it must be difficult, to be that sensitive of a soul. To be, as a moon in Pisces, it must be like, yeah, to create, it's an amazing placement. But maybe to absorb other people's energy, it must be a lot. It must be a lot. It must be a lot for the person. Mm, mm, mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. The good thing about me is that usually messy, but actually I'm actually gonna use things. Aquarius and Scorpio. Okay. Aquarius. Aquarius and Scorpio. Wait. No, I don't have Aquarius and Scorpio. Wait. Here. I have a Scorpio and Aquarius. I don't have Aquarius and Scorpio. I have a Scorpio and Aquarius. Here. I don't know how. Wait. I'm going to Google it because I don't know how to say it in English. Falconer, is it? Falconer? I believe it's Falconer. Like taming the beast. It says intensity, reticularity. Yeah, spread your wings. You have to find new things to recreate completely. Don't be afraid of madness. Don't be afraid of madness. That's the message. Change, renovate, die, and rebirth. Change, renovate, die, and rebirth. So yeah, this is a very, this is a sort of placement that sort of invites the person to be crazy, to be unexpected, to always changing. Um, it is so interesting because I never would associate. I think that sometimes when we see certain Scorpio placements, sometimes they tend to make you a bit fearless about, a bit fearful of letting go, wanting to control things, control how you're perceived, control certain connections, not wanting to lose control, not wanting to open up. So I think that when I see this, the falconer, I think that this is like an invitation. It's a great combination, actually, like Aquarius and Scorpio, because it's like, you can renovate yourself. You can change at any minute. It's like, don't let anyone tell you that you cannot change. Like, and if you can, like, go crazy with your imagination, or what you want to achieve, or as far as what you want to go. I think that these people are very, it's very liberating. And I think that is with the Scorpio, there's this intensity of, like, I think that if they live their lives like this, a lot of people will follow them, even if they don't want to be followed, even if they don't want nor crave their attention at all. But somehow, because it's Aquarius, there's something about, you do have a small audience, or you do have a group of people that somehow are like watching what you do, and they're like, I kind of want to do what he's doing, or what they're doing, or what she's doing. I think that is so cool. This is the first placement or association of placements that I'm like, this is so liberating, so refreshing for a Scorpio association, I would say. It's sort of, it it helps the person to, it's like, go intensely with your own liberation. There's no boundaries, there's no limitations. Just go and do you. Just do it. Just be free. Just be free. And if there's any kind of fixation, or if there's any kind of, like, this is why we have the eagle. The eagle. The eagle is like the ability to penetrate. When you're observing something, we people that we have like Scorpio placements, there's no way we can observe something and just observe it on a very superficial level. No, we always have to go deeper. So somehow this also is like, whatever you do, or whatever activity you do, just go deep with it. Go deep with it, like, really, like, get immersed in that universe of whatever you want to learn, or whatever you want to experience. Be passionate about your own freedom, but always live intensely. Also live with a lot of intensity, but just knowing that at some point it's going to end, and you're going to have to start over, and that's okay. Maybe people around this kind of other, this kind of people with this energy, maybe the people around them, like family and friends, they worry about them. What are do again? What are they embarking themselves into again? What is this crazy thing that they want to do? Like, like, I don't know, but they just are very intelligent. They are very intelligent. It's just that, yeah, maybe they're what they're going to choose is going to be very different, very original, not the typical route that a lot of people will follow. They are going to choose the most awkward one, the most different one, and they're going to make it work, because it's about them, probably having no strings attached, and just, letting go. Mm. I had a counselor who was a Scorpio Sun Aqua Moon, great counselor who implemented different alternative healing methods that worked. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Soul from P1 Harmony also has this combo, and he's being called alien by his weird behavior. Also, I had to choose one for myself because I just saw it here in the Scorpio combination, and when I wrote it down, actually, that it was a Scorpio Sagittarius, and when I wrote it down, actually, I remember my bias. I remember Lino, so I wanted to bring it out. It's healer. I think that this idea of how powerful they are, or maybe their ability to put their hands, and I think that it's so interesting because and this just like you guys mentioned, the combination of Sagittarius and Scorpio, because for me it's not so much about like healing, it's also about manifesting. There was a message that came with this card that is said, believe that you can and you will. So and this is because Sagittarius is all about believing, and if you put it like an amplificator with it amplifies with Scorpio. It's like because sometimes Scorpio placements, they have this, just like Capricorn, they have this like nonsense kind of mentality of like, oh, if I cannot see it, it's not true, or if I don't do this, I don't believe in this is BS, this doesn't work, I don't believe in magic, I don't believe in this. But they have the ability that if they concentrate that they want something, and this I thought about this and I instantaneously thought about Lino, is because remember there was I know that Lino was he's known, and I remember him was a BTS back then, backup dancer. um but remember that he was part of a documentary where he was sort of dancing on the streets, and there was, I believe that it was like the commentary, the person that made the comment, the journalist, that they narrated the part, and it's like I remember that. Well, this can be like the beginning of K-pop, or the beginning of an idol. They said something like a phrase that ended with the scene of him dancing on that street. I don't know if they were like, who knows? Maybe this person is like the future of K-pop, and groups or boy groups at least of this time. So from him, appearing in that documentary, him just dancing, and maybe him, and then talking about K-pop and the training process, and him being being is someone that is known. So I'm like, look how, if you really want it, you can have it. It can happen for you. You just have to want it. So I'm not saying that it's magical thinking, because behind Lino and behind a lot of trainees, a lot of hard work. But I think that I don't know why I think about Lino as this person that he would totally think that he wouldn't get it. I think that there's something about maybe his humor or his behavior, being like, oh, I never win anything, or this is not going to happen to me. And the universe is like, no, you want it, you can have it. So, hmm. Giselle too, more like quiet, already holds a punch. Minus William. It makes me think about touching the soul and healing it from sin. Wow, I don't remember the documentary, but it's so cool, synchronicity. Yeah, there was this big part that Lino appeared in that documentary. Because it's a K-pop, and it ended showing him dancing. And then he became, so this is, I'm thinking about that, about manifestation, like how he was part of, oh, no, 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 no. It's, I thought about like, a lot of people that they have this Sagittarius and Scorpio energy is like, if you guys have faith, if you guys put that faith and you put that passion together, you can have it. So, you can even heal someone. I don't know about these things, literally about a healer, but there's something moves energetically when they have this. This is why it says, um, also it says healing opportunities appearing, but they have to let themselves be assisted. That is not about them, going asking the universe like, I want to do this, or I want this new job, or I want this, but it's like you want this to happen to yourself while you are isolated, or open the network, be willing to meet with others, to have conversation with others, to network with others, to it's not just that simple, like, oh, it's going to just be because it's you and that's it. No, you also have to meet other people. The dance one for so even someone with Mars in such in aspect to Pluto, or Mars Jupiter Pluto aspect, could achieve a lot with their optimism, or Jupiter in Scorpio to a lesser extent. Yes. Well, if you also think about Utah, Utah is a Scorpio person, but because as Mars is his country, and to go to Korea and decide to become an idol for the Korean entertainment, like that's something that I don't know how many Japanese trainees were back then, but what happened to Utah that he decided of Korean, and he just launched himself to the possibility of like, okay, I have to go overseas and become a singer in another culture that is not like it's strange from his, but it's very peculiar, the choices. So there was something about him probably believing that he will make it, or the trust, or I don't know, something came up in him, and he was like, okay, I have to go to Korea, and it has to be now. And I know that my family probably thinks I'm crazy and that I'm too young to do this, but he just did it. He just did it. And I don't know where he got the inspiration from, besides him loving K-pop. But when one thing is you be like, oh, I love K-pop, or I like K-pop, or I heard about K-pop, but to think that I'm going to do this myself, and I'm so young and but I'm going to go over there and see if I can make it. And he did make it. But what were the options, that the possibilities of this going right? And he did it. So at such a young age, it was so reckless of him of him, definitely. But it's very Sagittarius energy. Like, I would just move to another country, to a different culture. Like, I don't know. I just have like admiration for him, because personally for me, being having a Scorpio placements, I don't know, I wouldn't leave my family just like this, or my hometown just like this, or my territory just like this. I don't know, I would feel a bit suspicious. But him having that combination, he was more brave, or he was more he had that bravery, he had that ability of, like, I don't know if I'm going to make it here in my hometown, so I'm going to move to another country. So sorry guys, I'm disconnecting every 5 seconds. I don't know what is it. Maybe it's my internet. And then there's something about him, using humor as um his sorry guys, I don't know what is going on with my internet. I think that it wants me to leave. I think that it wants me to leave because it's disconnecting every 5 seconds. I don't know what's. Yeah, I went away again. Talk about Virgo, Cancer, and Virgo, the pediatrician. This is only Gemini and Pisces that I have Venus and Mars in the first house. The tarot reader. Mhm. Libra and Aquarius, the feminist. This one, I don't know what it is. Oh, maybe it's the shaman. Yeah, Libra and Pisces. And Leo and Pisces. Leo and Pisces, the shaman. Mm-hmm. No, Sagittarius and Virgo, no, there's not. Virgo and Sagittarius, it could be. But Sagittarius and Virgo, no, there's not. Virgo and Sagittarius. Missionary. Missionary. I don't know, talking about some things about history. I don't know if this is accurate, but missionary. It makes sense. Yeah. Oh, Huninkai, Leo Sun, Pisces rising. So he will be like a shaman. What is concrete doesn't reach you anymore. Your identity must be modified. You have to learn to get lost and find yourself again. Wow. Virgo Pisces. Mm. Mm. Wait. Virgo Pisces. Wow. Virgo Pisces. Symbolist. Symbolist. Yeah, it could be the complex of the savior or the complex of the rescuer. You know, some people that they are like, oh, but I'm helping you because you need my help. If they're okay, then maybe. Yeah, the symbolist, it's someone that, yeah, works with symbols. So it could be like a tarot reader even, you know, because it makes sense of the symbol. You need to reach to the someone that is able to read symbols. Is able to read symbols. But yeah, this could be, you know, a lot of symbols. All that. Well, you know, music is represented in symbols as well. So it's the ability to read symbols. And images, sort of understand themselves. But see, they're always studying. See, the Virgo placement is never like, oh, time in their lives, you know, analyzing this, studying this, observing this. Mm. Mm. Because, you know, also energy, you know, um, we also have this one. Also, there not just Virgo. It's not Virgo. It's a Scorpio. Sorry. But it's not just Virgo, the one that wears glasses. Capricorn also. I think that this could be more like me. It's like a Scorpio Capricorn. I don't see myself like this, but it says, what is it? Scorpio Capricorn, nuclear physicist. Nuclear physicist. I don't see myself learning this, but it says nuclear physicist. It says intensity and instructor, be rational, sensible, discerning, take over authority, but don't fall on authoritarianism. Concrete. Not concrete, concentrate.